Coming up on Mountain News this morning, the White House took new steps to lower the cost of some prescription drugs. And flood recovery work in eastern Kentucky is being recognized on a global stage.
Dedicated to eastern and southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Welcome to Mountain News This Morning. I'm Neely Green here with you on this Monday, December 22nd. The time is now 4:59, and let's check in with meteorologist Megan Desmond for a look at your forecast this morning. Megan, it's Christmas week, it's cold. What else can we expect, honestly?
Well, this is the coldest morning of the week because we have significantly warmer temperatures on the way. So if you're not a fan of cold, well, don't worry, it'll warm up. And if you are wanting a white Christmas, I can tell you now, unfortunately, that is not in the cards. Let's talk about those temperatures that we're seeing as we're heading throughout the day. High temperatures will be getting into the mid to upper 50s. Yes, you're hearing that right. Normally this time of year, we're in the low to mid 40s, so definitely warmer than average. In terms of what we're looking out in the clouds, it's just a little bit of clouds for far southwestern counties. Altogether, though, relatively dry. We will see some slight chances for some scattered showers entering the forecast, especially during those evening hours. So here's a breakdown of your day. Sunrise this morning is going to be at 7:45, and sunset later today will be at 5:19. Sunshine and then clouds will be building as we head into the afternoon. Neely.
Megan, thank you. A Kentucky man has been charged with murder after a woman was found dead inside a home in Owsley County. State troopers say 51-year-old Crystal Sexton was found dead in a home on Left Fork Holly Road in Boonville yesterday. KSP says 55-year-old Cloyd Burkhart was arrested after shooting and killing Sexton after the two had gotten in an argument. Burkhart is facing several charges, including murder, evidence tampering, and possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. We're working to learn when he's expected to appear for those charges. We now know the name of the person that was airlifted to UK after colliding with a semi-truck in Knox County. Kentucky State Police say they were called to that two-car crash on Highway 25 East in Gray just before 6:30 p.m. Saturday. That's where they say 93-year-old Crip Moses was driving southbound when he collided with a semi-truck. Moses was taken to Baptist Health Hospital in Corbin before being airlifted to UK in Lexington. KSP tells us the Fayette County coroner pronounced Moses dead yesterday. Troopers say they will be shutting down US 25 East today at 2 p.m. for 1 hour to conduct reconstruction at the scene of the crash. A coal miner has died after a work incident in Wyoming County, West Virginia. Governor Patrick Morrisey says the miner died at the Lower War Eagle mine Thursday morning. That's in between Man and Oceana along Route 10. The miner's name was not released, and we don't have any details about the incident. Governor Morrisey says the West Virginia Office of Miners' Health, Safety, and Training is conducting a full investigation. We have an update for you this morning in the case against former Letcher County Sheriff Sean Mickey Steins. New court documents reveal Steins is expected to testify in a federal civil trial stemming from allegations of sexual misconduct inside the county courthouse. Steins is accused of shooting and killing District Court Judge Kevin Mullins last year. He's listed as a witness in a lawsuit filed by a woman who accuses a former sheriff's deputy of coercing her into sexual acts to avoid home incarceration fees. According to court filings, Steins is expected to testify his knowledge of alleged sexual activity involving female inmates and conversations he had about it with Judge Mullins and others. The civil trial is set to begin March 3rd in federal court in London. Overnight, new details about two people accused of carrying a deadly attack on a group of Jewish people in Australia last weekend. The new information one day after communities around the world used the 8th night of Hanukkah to honor the 15 people killed. CBS' Jared Hill has the latest.
Thousands gathered on the 8th night of Hanukkah, honoring the 15 people killed on the first night.
This is a time for all of us to come together in a show of solidarity and in a show of hopefully of peace.
Authorities say a father and son went on a deadly rampage, targeting a Jewish community gathered to light the first candle of Hanukkah.
I'm sorry for what the Jewish community and our nation as a whole has experienced.
Australia's Prime Minister Anthony Albanese offering condolences Sunday after he was booed walking through the crowd of mourners. The Prime Minister has been pressured to respond to what some say is rising anti-Semitism in the country. Last week, he announced new laws to target hate speech and radicalization, supported by some local lawmakers.
I acknowledge that we don't have the same free speech rules that they have in the United States, and I don't make any apologies for that. We have got a responsibility to knit together our community that comes from different races and religions and places from all over the world.
There's also been a push for stricter gun laws. Authorities said the father and son gunmen were inspired by ISIS. The father was killed in the shootout with police. His son is facing 59 charges, including murder. Tributes rang out from the Sydney Opera House to Israel, where Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said the attack has made him more determined than ever to ensure the eternity of Israel. In the U.S., this community in Virginia bringing light in a moment of darkness. Back in Sydney, hundreds of surfers paddled out to the water of Bondi Beach Friday in a tribute of their own. Jared Hill, CBS News.
One man who tried to tackle the gunman was presented with community donations equal to over $1.6 million US. Lawmakers are also raising questions about the Justice Department's release of files linked to the well-connected convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Starting Friday, the DOJ uploaded thousands of heavily redacted records to its website, including photos and contact lists. But over the weekend, more than a dozen files were removed without explanation. A CBS News review found that includes an image that appears to show a framed picture of President Donald Trump. The image was later reposted.
It has nothing to do with President Trump. If there are survivors in any of the photos, we will redact them.
The two sponsors of the law slammed the DOJ Sunday for not releasing all files as the law requires by last Friday. The White House took new steps to lower the cost of some prescription drugs. Friday, President Trump announced 9 more pharmaceutical companies have agreed to implement what is known as most favored nations pricing, meaning what the United States pays for some drugs and will match the lowest prices paid by other high-income countries.
To do it because we would have a pill in New York that was for sale for $130, and you could buy it in Germany and France and Spain and someplace anyways. They set their own prices for $10. So we'd pay 10 or 13 times more, pay 5 times more, pay all different prices. Now, whatever the lowest price is.
The president credited his tariff policy for getting the drug makers to the table and said so far 14 of the 17 pharmaceutical companies that have been asked to change their pricing have agreed. He added the remaining 3 companies, including Johnson & Johnson, will soon be making similar deals. Flood recovery work in eastern Kentucky is being recognized on a global stage. One higher ground community in the region is featured in the January 2026 issue of National Geographic. The article focuses on communities around the world rebuilding after disasters as climate-related weather events become more frequent. One of the projects highlighted is Skyview, a higher ground community built in Perry County after devastating flooding, through the work of several housing partners, including the Housing Development Alliance.
I think it shows that Eastern Kentucky is leading the way nationally and even globally in community recovery after a disaster. Just the fact that they're going to zero in on how we're coming back from a disaster as a people, as a place, working together is significant.
HDA says the feature underscores how communities in eastern Kentucky are coming together after disasters as National Geographic examines the growth impact of climate-related weather events. Thanks for getting your day started with us here on Mountain News This Morning. Coming up, one kid is on a mission to spread holiday cheer, one hand-painted card at a time. We'll have those details.
And get ready for a warm Christmas week. We're talking above average temperatures all week long.